If Ethan Malik had known that one single night would change the course of his life, he still wouldn't have believed it. Life had taught him to expect struggle, not miracles. But sometimes miracles arrive disguised as disaster, wrapped in thunder, soaked in rain, and screaming for help. It was 11:47 p.m. when Ethan finished mopping the last hallway on the 32nd floor of the Sapphire Corporate Tower. His shoulders ached from hours of scrubbing. His palms stung from cleaning chemicals. His eyelids felt heavy enough to close forever. But he forced himself onward because he had someone waiting for him, Aaliyah, his world. His reason. His 8-year-old daughter, sleeping alone in their small apartment with only a flickering night lamp and her stuffed rabbit for company. He checked the time again. He'd promised her midnight milk. He was already late. Ethan pushed his janitor cart toward the service elevator when his supervisor, Mr. Khan, yelled from behind, "Malik, don't forget the trash chute on floor 33. If you skip it again, I'm writing you up." Ethan exhaled sharply but nodded. "Yes, sir." Another write-up meant termination, and termination meant Aaliyah missing meals again. No matter how tired he was, he couldn't risk it. He went back, emptied the chute, and finally dragged himself outside. Rain poured like the sky was grieving. Monsoon season had swallowed the city, drowning streets and leaving half the traffic stalled or floating. Ethan pulled his thin hoodie over his head, it did nothing to protect him, and stepped into the storm. The streets were empty. Silent, except for the rain splattering on metal and asphalt. A cold wind cut through his clothes. His shoes were soaked within seconds. He hugged himself and walked faster, desperate to get home. Then, a piercing scream sliced through the storm. "Help! Somebody, please!" Ethan froze. The scream wasn't far, maybe 20 meters. He turned toward the sound, squinting through the sheets of rain. There, on the overpass, a white SUV skidded sideways, tires screeching on the flooded road. The driver tried to turn the wheel, but the vehicle slid uncontrollably toward the edge of the bridge. The metal guardrail bent under the pressure. Ethan's heart slammed into his ribs. Without a thought, without fear, he sprinted. "Hey! Hold on," he shouted. Lightning flashed, illuminating the horror for a split second. A woman inside, panic in her eyes, water rising fast around the SUV's wheels. The bridge shook as the guardrail weakened. Ethan splashed through knee-deep water, wading as fast as he could. The SUV tilted forward, the front dipping dangerously over the edge. "Please," the woman screamed, pounding on the window. Ethan reached the car just as it teetered. "Unlock the door," he yelled. It's jammed." Ethan wrapped both hands around the handle and yanked with all his strength. The metal resisted. His fingers slipped, the car rocked forward another inch. He planted one foot against the side of the vehicle and pulled again. Crack! The door swung open, water rushed inside instantly. "Take my hand," he commanded, stretching his arm toward her. The woman trembled uncontrollably, soaked, her dark hair plastered to her face. Fear filled her eyes, not fear of the fall, but fear that she wouldn't escape in time. She reached, Ethan grabbed her wrist and pulled hard, her body slid across the seat. The car lurched forward. He tightened his grip. "Come on. I've got you." Her fingers slipped, then locked around his forearm in a desperate grip. With a final burst of adrenaline, Ethan hauled her out. They both crashed onto the pavement, rolling through the water. The SUV groaned one last time, and then, it dropped. The roar of the car hitting the swollen river below echoed like thunder. The woman gasped sharply, clinging to Ethan's shirt as if the world were still shaking beneath her. "You're okay," Ethan whispered, trying to catch his breath. "You're safe now." The woman struggled to sit up, wincing in pain. "My ankle, don't move," he said gently. She looked at him properly for the first time. Her breath hitched. He noticed she had striking features, sharp cheekbones, warm brown eyes full of intelligence but now clouded with fear, and a presence that didn't match the near-death chaos around them. Lightning illuminated her for a moment, revealing something else. He recognized her, not personally, but from billboards, magazines, news headlines. He started. "Zara Khan," she finished quietly. "CEO of Contech." Ethan blinked. The Zara Khan. The billionaire tech mogul. The youngest female CEO in the country. Sitting on the wet, flooded pavement with a sprained ankle and shaking hands, suddenly she let out a soft, humorless laugh. "I can't believe this is how I meet someone new." Ethan shrugged lightly. "Could have been worse. You could have gone over with the car." Zara stared at him, stunned by how casually he said it. "You risked your life," she whispered. "Anyone would have," he replied. "No," she said firmly. "Not anyone. Everyone else drove past me." Ethan swallowed. Well, I didn't. For a moment, silence settled around them, broken only by distant sirens and the storm's relentless roar. Ethan took off his hoodie and draped it around her shoulders. She shivered but smiled faintly. Thank you, she murmured. He nodded. Let me get you to shelter before the next lightning strike. Zara hesitated. What's your name? Ethan, he said softly. Ethan Malik. She repeated it slowly. Ethan. As if memorizing it. He helped her stand, supporting her weight carefully. Her fingers curled around his arm, warm despite the cold. As they made their way toward the covered walkway, Zara spoke again, voice shaky but sincere. You saved my life. Ethan looked away bashfully. Guess I was just in the right place. No, she whispered, maybe you were exactly where fate wanted you. Ethan didn't know what to say. He just guided her forward, trying not to think about how surreal the night was becoming. Paramedics rushed toward them, calling out questions. Reporters arrived within minutes, cameras flashing, microphones thrust forward. Zara ignored them all, her eyes stayed on Ethan. You won't disappear after this, will you? She asked softly, almost afraid of the answer. Ethan hesitated, unsure what she meant, unsure why her voice shook the way it did. I don't plan to, he murmured. Zara smiled, not the smile of a CEO, not the confident grin she wore in boardrooms. A real smile, small, vulnerable, grateful, and just like that, fate had tied two broken lives together. One by desperation, one by loneliness, and both by a moment neither would ever forget.